at some point, men were treating women as if they were subject. All women are subject to all men. No, it is not true. I see some men on the road, they will quarrel with a woman, they will say, I have somebody like you at home. No, you don't have somebody like her at home. What you have at home is your wife. We see authority and we think of tyranny.
Yeah.
You know, we think of dictatorship.
Yes.
We think of you as the dictator and the woman as your subject. No. Authority simply means direction. Authority simply means you are the one. Listen, let me tell you, authority is service. You dress like billionaire.
Ladies
like
and
billionaires,
gentlemen,
they wear chinos like this with shirt. Talking their bells go they show.
Thank you, sir.
It's part of the show.
Absolutely. I mean, I just got a commendation from His Excellency. And that's a good way to start the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Through Podcast, your most topical podcast where we have conversation under the spotlight of the truth. We truly appreciate everyone who's streamed the show, who's liked the show, who's commented, who's following us. Please keep it coming. It gives us the energy to keep doing what we're doing. And welcome to this episode. It's a continuation, kind of like, of the conversation we had when we discussed Christian marriage and divorce. We kind of left it at Christian marriage and we didn't go deeper. But today, we want to drill, in a little bit more to talk about divorce. And then we'll just see how the conversation is going to be. And like I said before, if you feel that you have something to say and you want to be a part of the show, and whatever you have put in your comment is not enough, and you want to have your voice and your face, and you think you're bold and audacious, especially if you're a female, we are open to having you. Just send us a DM, reach out to us. We would be very excited to host you on, the Talk Through podcast. If you also feel there's a conversation you'd like us to have, let us know. We might just bring you up on the show. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get right into it. I'm not alone as usual. I have my people here in the building. Very first, His Excellency, our very own. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for always stirring up.
Thank you.
I know you can't be bowing to me. And as always, a regular on the show. Thank you for coming through.
It's an honor.
Yes, we had a great time discussing Christian marriage and divorce the last time, and we want to just follow up with this part 2, and we want to talk about divorce. So one of the things I did in prep for this is to find out a little bit about data. Yes, I want us to work with data today. And two interesting data I'd like to read out, then we'll now start from there, is the fact that between 2000 and 2025, total divorce cases in Nigeria, for example, is 3,000, with 62% initiated by wives and 38% by husbands. I mean, that's some data right there. Then the one that's kind of like concerns us, religion. Yes, religion. Where are you? Okay. Divorce cases by religion. Christianity has 1,000 out of a total of 1,006. Christianity has 1,502 cases. And Islam has 1,354. Traditional and other religion has 144. Let's start with the very first one. Wives. How come we have more wives willing, always eager, or always pressing to initiate divorce compared to the husbands? I mean, 62% compared to 38%. I mean, that ratio is kind of like it's too much of a wide gap right there. So what is it that the female gender feel that the male gender isn't doing well? I mean, if a man is willing to still bear based on this ratio, how come the female gender is not willing anymore? Just like we used to hear that our parents would stay through. What is making the female gender in this age not willing to stay through and are so quick to want to initiate divorce? Ladies and gentlemen, that's the show. That's one angle I want us to look at first. Yeah, Clancy, sir?
Why are you always looking at me?
I said the ball rolling.
Okay, so you remember one thing I said in the previous episode?
Yes,
I spoke about that the woman controls the home.
Right.
I also mentioned that the woman holds the marriage. So basically, that's why I'm not surprised at the data you just gave us. The woman holds the home, the woman holds the marriage. Until the woman gives up, the marriage is still intact. Most times.
Hold it now until the end now.
No, a man can actually stay in a marriage that is no longer involved with. A man can actually remain in a marriage where his mind has gone, because the man has the liberty to cheat. They say it's a man's world. He's at liberty to do however he wants. Women don't have that liberty. So most times, once a woman is fed up, she will either die there or she get out. So that's why you look like more women are opting for divorce, but it's not because more women want to end their marriages. It's just because women are prone to quickly go once it's not working. Unlike the man, a man can remain in something that is not working for the next 20 years. So that's what that data simply implies, nothing else.
True. Yes, you want to add one or two to that?
Yeah, I think has to do with women being the most mysterious beings ever created. People that walk on impulse. Men were asleep when man was asleep when God made woman out of his rib. So it's something that I can't even answer. I just know women act on impulse more than men. A man can, like CDO said, weigh the options,
right,
and say, well, just stay this house, make with them patch and they go. And because of the liberties he has to, philander and do all sorts of things, and he can just be there.
I disagree.
Providing or not. But the
I disagree.
Woman, one of the reasons why a woman will divorce, apart from, or we choose to, initiate a divorce, apart from the man misbehaving or whatever, there are men that are good and the woman still left them.
Yeah.
It's because there is an influence from outside telling her that, what are you still doing with this loser? Get out, there's life outside. Either friends or another man or even a family. Or she by herself just creates a scenario in her head and say, this man is not man enough for me. Let me find my way out. You understand?
Right.
So I don't understand women.
If you don't understand women, so why have you said so much? No, hold on. If you don't understand women, why have you said so much? You first of all started by saying that women are impulsive. They are not. Women are not impulsive. Men are impulsive. Yes, women are not impulsive. Before a woman would do anything, she would have thought about it. Remember what R. Kelly said?
Yeah.
When a woman gets out of the door, there is nothing you can do about that. Women are not impulsive. It's a man that will say, I would better leave this house, I never come back again. He will go. If he's hungry or he remembers okra soup, he will come back. Before a woman will say, I'm leaving, her spirit has gotten to where she's going. As in, she has built a duplex where she's going, furnished the house, painted the bathroom, they call and put flowers before she will tell you that she's leaving. So women are not impulsive.
That's not impulse. Okay.
It's not,
okay.
yes.
Okay. Yeah.
They sometimes their emotions may control them, but they are not impulsive. Even without their emotion, they still plan and know. You hardly find a woman who just wake up and just jump out. No. Before a woman gets out of the house, just know that she's fed up. What I said is that women, because their options are not as many as men, that's why once she's fed up, she's going to say, I need a divorce, because she needs to survive. For a woman, marriage is survival. For a man, marriage is one of those things. So a man can be going home and coming and not eat your food for 6 months. A man can be going and coming and be sleeping on one side of the bed for 6 months. He's done with you. But he will still come inside that room, lie on that bed. When a woman is done with you, she cannot lie on that bed. She will die on that bed. So she must go. Because her options, women more like putting everything into whatever they are doing, unlike men. So when a man is fed up, he can close from work and go to his mother's house, sit in his mother's house, eat his mother's food, gist with his siblings or his mother till 9 p.m. He will come home and sleep. When the woman is fed up, she can't do that. The woman cannot leave the office and start driving to her mother's house. The mother is going to ask her, what about your husband? What about your home? She can't finish from work and drive to a friend's house. The friend is going to ask her, this one you came here, you're coming here today, what's happening? You understand? She can only go to another lover's house. And the minute she goes to that lover's house once or twice, she starts dreaming of spending the rest of her life there. So she's going to leave the marriage immediately. That's why you're seeing more women filing for divorce than men. It doesn't mean the woman wants to end the marriage more than the man or anything. It simply means, it's just like if you bring a boy and a man and you hit their stomach, the boy will shout, first before the man.
Right.
Same impact. But that's the boy's reaction. Why? Because he's younger. He feels more pain. He doesn't have the stamina and the energy to strength to withhold. So women, naturally, the way they are wired and the way the marriage, the home is wired, everything depends on the woman. So the minute she crumbles, she's out. So there's no need to waste time. And most times, before she will get to the point where she's fed up with that marriage, she has built another world outside. So going for divorce is not hard.
Okay. Before we get into religion, I remembered a comment that somebody made while we were talking about the foundation on which marriage is built. We kept hammering the fact that any marriage that must succeed must be built on God. And somebody said in our comments that when I just talk God, I beg you, just get money. When there's money, marriage will be good. So to follow up with that now, causes of divorce, financial issues. It says that 1,035 by wives and 498 by husbands. My question is it true that when there's money in a marriage, that marriage is insulated against divorce?
Are you coming to me again?
Yes, sir.
So the person who said that for any marriage to
God,
succeed,
just get money. Once money,
once they say God, people start thinking that he's going to go and kneel down in church and pray that he's God. He owns the universe. He made all the laws, the principles that govern the earth. They belong to him. So if I say that for this room to be comfortable,
right,
that is God. If oxygen is in this room, is God. And this room, you can't stay here if there's no oxygen.
Right.
You understand? Right. So when we say that you need God for marriage to succeed, what we're simply saying, first and foremost, the principles that God has laid down for marriage. And in those principles, provision is there. So the person saying that when you have money, in the principles that God has laid down, there's provision, there's protection. You understand? And what else? So many other things. Look at the Garden of Eden. When he created the Garden of Eden, he did not bring Adam and Eve together until he made provision and he made protection. Before he brought them and gave them authority. Those are the three things you need for any marriage to succeed. And that is God. You understand? So once there's provision, once there's protection, communication, and there's authority, that's God. So when we say that if God is not in it, what we're telling you is that he is the creator of the universe. He's the one who ordained marriage. And that's a way he put it. Now, the people who make their marriages not work or who fight against marriage or the devil, what the devil will do is to shoot either the provision, the protection, or the authority or the communication. You understand? So if the devil comes to the woman and says, this man doesn't have money, give him wahala. He's attacked you because there's no provision. If the devil comes to the man and says, this woman disrespects you, you understand? Give her wahala. Is the authority. So those things are principles that God has laid down to govern the union. And we're saying that if you don't have them, it will be difficult for it to work. Then you being a Christian is a plus, because what it means is that if you're a Christian, you are led by the Spirit of God. So if you're led by the Spirit of God, the Spirit of God will make you have those things and direct you on how to use them and bring them close to you, to your own comfort. You understand? So that's what we're saying. It's not as if when somebody says without God, the marriage will not work. It means that you have to go and kneel down in front of the altar every day and be kabashing. There are people who are not Christians that are living well, that their marriage works. But they still follow the God principles, the godly principles laid down by the one. Wisdom is part of it. Wisdom comes from God. You cannot have a good marriage if you're not wise.
Yes.
You understand? It comes from God. The provision you're talking about, the money the person is talking about, all blessings come from God.
Right.
The only good thing is that when you have it and you are a Christian, it will add no sorrow. So everything, people need to understand how big this God is and how mighty. We by our human mind, we have brought God into a small, I don't know how to put it, but we now see God as
an option.
Not just even an option, as in the guy who is just there when we kneel down to pray. No, he owns the universe. He created everything. Your ideas, your creativity, your whatever you have, your beauty, you as a man, your strength, your ability, everything comes from God. So if you have those things and you put them together and they are working for you, it means God is working for you. So yes,
if
finances will ease life, whether marriage or not, finances will make life easy.
So if there is finance, is a marriage likely never to experience divorce?
No, it's not true.
I think the availability of finance sometimes, especially on where both parties have, because divorce is not cheap. Actually, it's a process, and I think it takes about 2 years in some regions. And so, if the woman is boxed up, where she can easily move out, get an apartment for herself, pay her bills, take care of her children, divorce becomes easier. So the availability of finance could be even even fast track
divorce, separation.
Wow.
So women are still in the marriage because they can't afford divorce.
And some women are divorced today or separated because of their success. If they were not successful, if they did not have money, they wouldn't have gone out. And you know the thing about problems in relationships, sometimes I know people who got married 5 years down the line, they started having problems. 2 years after, they outgrew the problems. So sometimes there are some issues that when they come, they may not last for a very long time. You understand? So, but if you have people who are very comfortable, the man is very successful, the woman is very successful. Once there's problem, the man can afford to move into a hotel for 3 months. The woman can afford to go and get another apartment. It may even quicken the divorce. Same way, finances may also make their love blossom, make their love grow, and make them, love each other more. You understand? So it depends on where you look at it. But generally, when there is money, life is easy. That's the one you can't take away from anybody.
Sure.
When there's no money, it will cost you more to keep a
sorry
home.
to cut you. The question that came to my mind just now is when you were saying when the man is successful and the woman is successful, when problem comes, I'm asking what problem can come when the man is successful?
So many now. There are so many things that can lead to.
That will lead to.
So infidelity now. Does money stop infidelity? Money even encourages infidelity. You understand? Non-performance. What about non-performance? What about family interference, in-law problem? So there's so many things that can get on the way and spoil spoil the marriage. So it is not just about having money or being comfortable financially. Like I said, there are things that may come before that. Wisdom is very important. Communication and wisdom, very important in marriage. Those are the items that basically can keep the marriage. If a wise man or a wise woman is in a home, there's peace in that home. And wisdom will bring about communication. A wise woman will always know how to communicate. A wise man will always know how to communicate. And the love will grow. The children will learn well. They will be well-mannered and things. And they will be able to navigate. They will be able to go through problems. There will be problems. There will be issues. But it's the ability to go through it. Even people who have gone through divorce. Mind you, I think I'm going to become a marriage counselor after this.
Yes.
Listen, let me tell you, there is no problem. There is no problem in a home that can withstand time. The reason people get divorced is number one, impatience and lack of wisdom. When you understand that thing you're going through is not uncommon, it's everywhere. All you need to do is know how to handle your own. It's not exclusive to you. There's no problem that is exclusive.
Because I was going to ask you if younger couples are more prone to divorce.
Yes, because of their inexperience now. Because of inexperience and because of awareness. Awareness too is also a problem. We're quickly embracing the Western world and we're unfortunately picking all the bad things they have firstly before the good things. So awareness, young people are very aware now, aware of your rights, aware of your position, aware of who you are, aware of what you have, aware of your looks, how attractive. A woman could look at you and say, do you know me? All I just need to do is just walk out and then.
Yeah.
So those things could actually, instead of enhancing the union, making the marriage beautiful. You understand? It could actually create problems. So there are so many things. But why we say that on God, everything is okay, because the Spirit of God gives wisdom. The Spirit of God gives understanding. The Spirit of God will breed communication. The Spirit of God will open doors for you to have breakthroughs and be successful. You understand? But first and foremost, the principles of anything is from God. So first of all, anything you're doing and you are doing well is on God. So when we say that if not for God, you will not be able to do that, I don't think that what we mean is because you have not gone to go and pay your tithe, or you have not gone to go and kneel down and sow a seed. God has given us freely everything. The principles that govern the earth, that govern mankind, everything we do is from God, from heaven. Just like He created the Garden of Eden and put everything in it before He brought the man, created the man, then put the man to sleep, removed his rib and made the woman. You see how God is. And how God planned for all of us to live that way. It is our sin that turned the world into what the world is. And then Christ had to come and die. Now you have the righteous and the unrighteous. But we're still enjoying the principles that God had put in. Some things that God gave mankind ab initio, they are still there. Nobody can take them away. Anybody can enjoy them, whether you are in Christ or you're not in Christ. The only thing at the end of the day, when you stand to face God, you will face judgment and you answer for yourself for what you have done. You're not going to answer for the earth. You're not going to answer for season and times. You're not going to answer for what God put in place. What you're going to answer is what you have done. So those principles are still there. That's why you wake up in the morning, you're hungry. You put food in your stomach, you are full. After some hours, you're hungry again. That's how the earth is. That's how God has made the earth. You plant seed, they grow and bear fruits. Same with marriage. You marry a good woman, you love her, like the Bible has said, and she respects honors you, like the Bible has said. People have peace. That's what we mean by God. And so even the guy who is talking about forget this in your whole money, if you hold that money and you spend it on your wife, that's love. If you hold that money and your wife honors you, that's honor. You understand? So there are still principles that God has put in place. God has put those principles in place to govern, to guide, to make marriage blissful.
Yes, I was going to say something about, the younger generations tending to divorce more than it used to be. It's because another reason is, like Sidio said, but I just want to call the word exposure. They're exposed to certain things. For example, the divorce becoming a trend. We've seen people celebrate divorce shower. What do they call it?
Are you serious?
Yes, now divorcees.
Oh, there's divorce shower now.
Yes, now.
I'm just hearing it for the first time. Jesus.
So they're celebrating. Just got divorced, and doing all those, paparazzi photo shoots for all those things. So people see that, and misery loves company. Somebody's miserable, divorced, but make it not be like saying only me. And they begin to instigate other people and make it look cool. And you'd see them using terms like, oh, I and my ex-husband, we're cool. I and my ex-wife, we are still friends. No, not get sense.
Oh, boy. Divorce shower.
Wow. I've not heard of divorce shower.
Yes, now they are if it's possible to, show pictures or post about this on social media, it's trending. And so when, and that's people copy what seems cool or trying to pretend that something not they pain them. I'm not sure that there's anybody that is divorced that doesn't go to their bed and cry, even if it's once. I'm not sure. They might claim that, yes. There are even people on social media that claim to be divorce advocates. So their work is to tell women how to quickly get out of that situation if the man is not treating them right. And our mothers are here, our female pastors and many other people telling us how they have suffered in the hands of their husbands in the marriage, but because they still stayed and now they are reaping the benefits. We've heard about women that say that they feed my husband for 15 years. Well, I know somebody personal, this one is personal, that the husband, I think that COVID-19 period, up till from 2020 till like 2024, the man was not paid salary, but he was still working. And the company said, guys, hang in there, we'll soon be through, this storm. And the wife was the one. Just imagine the wife chased him out of the house. Just imagine if the wife left the house. So at 2024, the company paid all the backlog of everything. And now she's enjoying. They have their own home. You understand? They built their own home because of paying of that backlog. So it now turned into testimony. So people just need to be careful where they get their information from and who they look up to. If you look up to a divorcee, small time, you go on to envy that lifestyle and you'd want to get, divorced. So That's what I feel why the young people are, going through more divorces.
We had established in the first episode that Satan is against, this union.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why this data here is really disturbing. The overview is 3,000 divorce cases.
Okay.
Now you have religion broken down into Christianity, Islam, and traditional.
Yes.
Christianity has 1,502 cases.
Okay.
That's
Islam
50%.
has 1,354.
Okay.
Then traditional has 100.
So going by that, it just follows. First of all, I think this data is wrong. I can stand here and tell you that this data is wrong. What this data has just done is to follow our census. Our population, you have about 50-55% Christians.
Okay, doesn't mean that they are real Christians.
No, that's what this person just translated to divorce.
Oh, okay.
So what the person just did was just to apply the percentage of Christians, Muslims, and other religion in Nigeria.
Sampling.
Yes, to that divorce something. Now the data I have shows that about 3% of Christian marriages, about 3 to 4% of Christian marriages end up in divorce. You understand? And Islam is a bit less and other ones. So the divorce rate for total divorce rates for the Christian marriages are not up to this 55% or 50%. It's high, higher than any other one.
Yeah, which is actually
now,
the point.
Okay, so after that, now to answer your question, why is that way? Is because, like the other religions you mentioned, I'm not sure their marriages are registered. So, in also looking at data, you also need to look at sample space. You understand? So most Christian marriages end up either getting, most Christian marriages get certificates. Certificate of marriage.
True.
And most Christian marriages, when you want to annul them, you definitely have to go to court. So that's why it is easier to capture every Christian marriage that ends up in divorce. But the other religions, you will not be able to capture every of their marriage. They may not go through annulment of marriage the way Christians would do. So their data may not be correct. So, but what we know is that the number of marriages being annulled in Nigeria is alarming, whether you like it or not. And what we can do is to look into why is it that way.
True.
But this one, I don't think is correct.
Yeah, but the point is that, is it accurate that more believers or Christian marriages tend to end up in divorce?
Oh, yes, it is. It is. And because you have more Christians in Nigeria, it will definitely be that way, which is not right. It shouldn't be that way. So why is it that way? It is also that way because we practice a Christianity that is not real in this part of the world. Our Christianity is fake. I keep saying it. And whatever we say, however you bring the question, it will always bring us back to that. Our Christianity is fake from everywhere. It is beginning to look now like our churches want to accept divorce.
Wow.
It's beginning to look now like our preachers have no qualms with divorce. We are even beginning to see a lot of preachers who are divorced and they are still not in the pulpit. So that's why within the Christian fold now, it's no big deal to be divorced, but it's not supposed to be so. It is not supposed to be so. The marriage is an example of what Christ is to the church, or the union between Christ and the church. It should not be broken. That's why the vow people take, they say, until death do you part. So how is your Christianity? How are you practicing it? How are you following what Christ has said? How are you following the principles laid down for marriage? How are you following? God brought the man and said, it is not good that he be alone, and created the woman and said, a helpmate. Somebody was speaking the other time and he was analyzing that for you to need help or for you to get help, it means the helper is stronger or more important or more knowledgeable or more whatever it is. For me to say, please help me do this, it means you are in a position. If you're not in a position, if you don't have the capacity, I will not ask you to help me. So when God created man, what God did was to create a better version of man, a higher intelligence. and he brought that one and said, you help this one. So we say the woman is the weaker sex. It's not supposed to be. The man is the weaker sex.
The Bible said the woman is the weaker
vessel. Right.
Weaker vessel. Weaker vessel. Why? Because the man has the authority. You understand? The authority has been given unto the man. So automatically the woman submits to the man. But the woman is the man's helpmate. The woman is the one that has been prepared to help the man. So the woman is not the weaker sex.
Wow. It's like the Holy Ghost is our helper.
You understand? So we need to understand that what has happened is that there's a misconception. So what happens is that the woman now keeps fighting for what belongs to the man, and the man keeps struggling to do better than the woman. You cannot do better than the woman as a man. You are the woman's authority.
When you say you can't do better than the woman, in what sense?
If they give you task with a woman head to head, you will not beat her.
A woman's task?
A woman's task or any task?
Any task. Equal training, equal positioning, you will not beat a woman.
Nigerian Super
under 20.
So listen to me again.
21
now.
The back on.
You did not listen to me. You didn't hear me. You didn't hear me right. Hold on. I said if they give you the same task with a woman, equal training, equal positioning, you will not
so
beat the woman.
So are you saying female referees are better than male referees?
If you want to know, hold
on.
If you want to know if the woman will beat a boy in football,
right.
If you give birth to them, 3 years old, put 2 of them in the same academy, let them play till they are 16. It hasn't been done yet or proven, but if anybody tries it, the woman will beat them.
I
think it has even been proven. I
don't agree.
Where?
Mingueza, Barcelona player, he has a sister that is in the first team, and he, I don't even know where they now, Seth. And they started together in the La Masia.
It doesn't mean that the sister
where is the sister now?
Sister is in the first team, but
it doesn't mean that maybe the guy lost interest or something. It doesn't mean that the sister is better than him.
Give a woman. Have you seen twins, male and female? Go and look at them. The one will do better in school.
She develops faster. She's,
the girl will do better in school. The reason the guy will be stronger is because as the girl is growing, she's been pampered as a girl. But if you keep loading them the same weight and everything, the woman will be stronger. The female body is stronger than the male body. Have you seen where they cook female goats?
Yeah.
The time you spend cooking male goats is twice what you spend, or 3 times what you spend to cook a female goat.
Well, is it in everything? I mean, I don't agree that a female referee is better than a male referee.
So the only thing where the man will beat the woman is anything that has to do with emotion. Once our emotions get involved, then the man is stronger. Then secondly, naturally, because God has given the man authority, so somehow the man comes out on top. But by creation, by design, the woman is supposed to carry the man.
Okay, so
but no, he had not finished his thoughts. We're talking about the reason why
Christians.
Yes, that the woman is supposed to be the help.
Yes.
For the man, but when there's an attack on the authority, that's why you have. I don't think you didn't finish that thought before we now entered into training. So
yes, we're talking about the reason. For
Christian
I'm saying that
marriage,
there's misplaced priority. Basically, that's what we're seeing, and like I said, that the first thing the devil wants to do is to attack the family, because the family is a representation of Christ and the church, and because he knows he cannot do anything to the church, what he wants to do is to destroy the family unit. By that way, the church will crumble. So what he has done is to come and give us ideas. Misplaced priority. Look at what he did in the garden. He got to the garden. God said they should not eat this. He went to Eve and lied to Eve. What did the devil tell Eve? He said that had God's word said that you will not eat this. You understand? And Eve now agreed and said that he said that if we eat it, we will die. That's not what God said. You understand? So the devil succeeded in making Eve misplaced priority, and that's why she was able to eat the fruit and give man. If it was Adam that the serpent went to and convinced Adam to eat that fruit, Eve will not eat it. She won't, because she's more intelligent. She will not eat it. She would have told Adam, you don't chop this, you better go and apologize to God and not deal with you. You go run away. You understand? Yes. So that is it. What the devil has done is to come. The woman is highly intelligent. So there's misplaced priority. He has now told the woman that the man wants to be stronger than you. The man wants to be your head. The man wants to lead you. Fight for it. And suddenly, that's why we're seeing this whole women agenda, women inclusion, blah, blah, blah. The woman struggling for the position of the man. The man is not fighting for position with the woman. The man is not asking the woman. And most people have the wrong narrative, making it look like the man wants the woman to be subject to him. No. The man does not want the woman to be subject to him. The woman is your helpmate. She's your helper, but you have the authority. So that is what people need to understand. If you are in marriage, once you understand what authority means, you will not have problem. The issue is that we don't understand what authority means. We think authority is, I'm looking for the right word. We see authority and we think of headship. We think of, not even headship. Authority is headship. We think of tyranny.
Yeah.
You know, we think of dictatorship.
Yes.
We think of you as the dictator and the woman as your subject. No. Authority simply means direction. Authority simply means you are the one. Listen, let me tell you, authority is service.
Yes. It is.
The minute you understand that,
take
you
the
will not
burden
have
of
problem.
directing
Yes, that's
people.
what authority is. Authority is service. Authority is direction.
Wow.
Once you understand that, even you as a woman, once you understand that, I'm sure you shy away from dragging authority with the man. And it is only in the home. It is only between a wife and a husband. It is not in the society. In the society, we're all equal. Anybody can lead. But once we get into the house, the authority is for the man. The direction should come from the man because the man has been given that ability to think without emotion. The woman has need for emotion, childbearing, nurturing, and so many things. She needs that her emotion. That emotion cannot give direction because she will be putting a lot of things into consideration. The man does not have to put so many things into consideration. All he needs to do is to figure out what is best for us, what is best for you. Once we understand that, there will not be any problem. So what is happening is that we don't understand that, and our pulpit is not even teaching that. So you just see people come into marriage, young people come into marriage, and they get confused. They start trying to fight for what belongs to each of them.
You said a woman can't give direction. I've heard of a type of women that they call
In the home.
alpha women.
In the home.
In the home.
Not in the office.
Yeah,
Not
in the home.
business.
In the home. In the home, yes.
Yes.
Who tend to carry this alpha female thing into the home. Is it the same thing as if you feel that because you're an alpha female and you give, maybe you're an exec at management top level and you feel that you can bring the same thing into the home, especially when the man is probably maybe not at the level where you are? Is there a similarity between that leadership and direction and alpha female?
Come again, let me get
Is there a similarity between the leadership and alpha female brings in the corporate world?
I don't know what alpha female means.
Okay, a set
Is it
of
the Bible? What's alpha female?
No.
Because I don't know. Alpha.
Yes,
female.
Is this set of female that's been described as a very strong woman?
Is there any woman that is not strong?
Strong
woman.
in independence,
Is there
career-wise, very successful.
What do you mean career-wise? Have you read about? Hold on. Have you read the book of Proverbs about the virtuous woman?
Yeah.
Is that what you're referring to as alpha female?
No, I don't. It's not the same. But
that's supposed to be the definition of alpha female. See, that's one of the things when people misdefine things and not give it a glamorous look. The real definition of alpha female is the woman.
There's nothing like alpha female.
There is. There are women like that.
So no, there's nothing.
There are women like that.
Is there alpha man? Is there alpha male?
No, I don't think so.
There's no alpha male.
No.
Is there delta male?
No,
Is after alpha delta
or better.
Or whatever.
But you get my point.
I wanted to answer the question you raised.
I
had to bring in that alpha because that's what they are called.
It's a wrong narrative. It's not as if I don't have an idea of what you're saying.
I do know you.
But I just wanted you to know that it's actually a wrong narrative. A woman is a woman. Female is female. And if you want to know the qualities of a female or a good woman, go and read about the virtuous woman.
Proverbs 31.
You understand? When you read it, you will now tell me if what you're saying is within context or not. If it's not, then it's not. If it is, it's just like somebody coming to tell me a weak man. There's nothing like a weak man. A man is a man. If you are weak, you are weak. If you are strong, you are strong. It has nothing to do with you being a man. If you are a woman, if you are female, those are your qualities. Any other thing you have outside of that is you.
Mhm.
Maybe your papa train you for boxing. Maybe your mama carry you, they go play casino when you're young. And you develop some instinct and that's your business. But if you're talking about being a woman, those are the qualities of a woman. If you're going into a marriage, that's what you should bring into the marriage. If you bring more than that, good for you. If you bring less than that, then it's wrong. That's the standard. There's nothing like alpha female. Alpha female is from the pit of hell.
Wow.
I'm sorry to say it.
But people have made it look, the glamour, glamorous. They've written
Glamorized
books
and-
about
yes,
it,
yes.
and and they've
Yes, that's the
encouraged
issue.
them.
Who are
Alpha
those
female,
people now? Who are those people?
And they're
People in the
usually-
world now.
They're usually
Is-
feminists and all these.
Who are those people?
And
So at this point,
quick
let's
to,
mention names.
we are quick to
Let's
embrace
mention
things.
names. Is Ibuku Awoshika alpha female?
Did you define
Yes,
her
but-
as
Does she
alpha
refer
female
to
or
herself
a
as alpha
virtuous
female
woman?
or a virtuous woman?
A virtuous woman. We
You
know
refer
it's
to her as a virtuous woman.
Yes,
Miriam Babangida, will you refer to her as alpha female or virtuous woman?
alpha female.
Why? You don't know her.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know how to like.
You don't know her.
Alpha
So the
female.
truth is that
Yeah.
women who have failed in marriages, women who have failed in keeping homes, go out and they start looking for excuses and how to promote themselves. When it comes to business, at the marketplace, there's no male or female. You understand? You are an individual. You come, you show what your brain can
Capacity,
do, your
yes.
capacity, you bring that and whatever. That's why when people interview for jobs, they don't say because you're a woman, we're going to pay you 15 million, and you, because you're a man, we're going to pay you 25 million. You are paid based on the task and the role they are looking for. In business, everybody is everybody. So when people come to the marketplace or business place or the corporate world and they start trying to say women in this, women business, I hear a lot of bullshit. Women in business, women who are CEOs. That CEO you are they paying you more because you're a woman, or are they paying you less? Will they reduce your target because you're a woman or increase your target because you're a woman? Nothing. The business does not understand if you're male or female. So that's why I say that it is in the home. That is where the role of a woman or the role of a man counts. Not in business, not at workplace. If you're a trailer driver, if you like be man, be woman, Dangote, you will reverse, put your bag, they will load your truck and you move like any other person. But at home, some things are considered. We cannot be in the house and the children are hungry and they'll go to their father to ask their father to cook. You understand? But at the workplace, if a memo has to be done, you can look at the lady and say, why is this memo not ready? You're not going to say, no, memos are for men. So the people who come to workplace and they start trying to identify as women, alpha male, is bullshit.
Sure.
If you're at the marketplace, if you're in business, you are in business as an individual. Do your best there. If you don't want to have a home, if you don't want to marry, that's your problem. You understand? But we're talking about the home, the one that Christ ordained, the one that represents the union that Christ has with the church. It is the home. It is not in the office. So people should stop bringing office structure and whatever happens to the home. The home is entirely different. The home is what Christ is looking at. On Judgment Day, Christ will not say, where are the people who worked in GT Bank? Come to this side. No. You understand? You'll be seen as a father. You'll be dealt with as a father.
Right.
You'll be dealt with as a child of God. And then you'll be dealt with as the church. So what we're talking about here now is the home front. And when people understand that, that's why a woman should understand that when we are talking about the home, the man is the authority and the woman is the helper. Once you understand that, there's something I told somebody. I said, listen, if you come to any house, they rely on the house help to give them food. They rely on the house help to run errands. If the house is dirty, it's the house help. If the children don't have their bath, it's the house help, everything. You understand? But when it's night, they will go and say, Daddy, go and lock the gate. Daddy, lock the door. If they are sleeping and they hear, boah, everybody will run behind the father. You understand? Because he's the authority, he's the one who gives direction. And that's what we're talking about. And we're saying that once people understand that, once the church starts teaching it exactly how it is, and once we stop looking at successful women that have come
that's
to
why
church.
I was coming. That's why I brought it up.
Successful women at the place of business that have come to church and they have made impact, maybe through their pocket or whatever. And because of that, we start watering down what the home should look like so that we don't displease them. That's why we have this problem. If every man will stand and say it exactly how it is. The pulpit is not for the marketplace. It is the MD that talks to the marketplace and the government and policies. The pulpit is to talk to the home. It's the home front. And that's where the man's authority counts. Once you step out, I see some men on the road, they will quarrel with the woman, they will say, I have somebody like you at home. No, you don't have somebody like her at home. What you have at home is your wife.
Exactly.
Because your wife is the one who has agreed to honor you.
Submit, yeah.
And submit to you. That's not, you don't have
what
somebody
scripture
like her.
says is simple now. Let every woman submit to
His
her
Own husband, yes.
Own
So
husband.
once we
It's very
understand
clear.
this thing, then this thing is very easy. Even this divorce we're talking about will not happen anymore.
And that's what I would like to talk about, Ken. As someone that's been on the verge of divorce myself, I don't reach the bus stop where they divorce like this. But what I remember
You don't see bus.
The boss don't move, go.
what I remembered were the words of Jesus, that if you divorce, except for so reason, and you remarry, you will be committing adultery. You see, and if people, Christians now, they are the ones with the God that said, I hate divorce. I hate put away. Christians are the only one with that God, though. And look at your stats. We're saying that Christians
is the devil now.
more, divorcing more, including ministers of the gospel that should know this. And we see Jesus Christ telling them that the reason why Moses permitted you guys to divorce was because of your stubbornness.
Exactly.
And stubbornness is a sin. And so Jesus is telling you that none of us was a divorce in the first place. And if you come rich like this, it is better not to even marry in the first place. So does it mean that your state of divorce or your state of marriage is connected to your eternal life? That's how serious it is for me. See, I'm telling you now that is the reason why I said, let me put a break to this thing.
I heard the man of
I
God.
heard
I
the
heard the man of God
because of
say
divorce.
it. He said, and he was very blunt about it. He said that if you divorce apart from any other reason but infidelity, if you divorce for any other reason except adultery, you are going to hellfire.
If you check, that's what I was trying to bring up. If you check the words of Jesus,
Exactly.
That except, yes, that's what Jesus said. That except for infidelity,
No,
and we know, and we know
there's a caveat
believers,
too.
and
There's
we
a
know
caveat.
believers who actually have gone ahead in the midst of infidelity. If the marriage are still,
There's a caveat here that says, and you remarry, you commit adultery.
and that you are going to hellfire. So I'm like,
is it written in the Bible? That's
It
going to
is,
hellfire. Is it written in the Bible?
No, you're going to hellfire.
no,
But
man,
he said, and you remarry, you commit adultery.
adultery. Yes, he
And
said, don't
adultery is
put
a
away
sin.
a woman except on the basis of adultery.
Infidelity.
But he didn't now say if you.
I said Jesus Christ, in the words of Jesus.
He didn't say if you
And
remarry.
you remarry.
Marry.
You commit adultery with the one. And you said you are also making that woman commit adultery if she remarries.
If she remarries.
So, if it is that serious for Jesus Christ, and you see, Jesus Christ does not even care from the Bible, I'm quoting from scriptures too. He did not care what he caused
But
the divorce.
you know, there's another thing we need to bring out at this point, that Christ lived under the law of Moses.
Right.
So most times he was speaking based on the law of Moses.
Jesus Christ gave that law of Moses.
No.
He gave it
Hold
God.
on. We're talking about Christ.
Yes,
We're not talking about, hold on.
Okay.
There was no Jesus Christ before he was born.
No,
The
he
Son
existed.
of God.
He-
There was Son of God.
Right.
okay.
Right.
There was Son of God.
Right.
Jesus Christ
was
born. Jesus Christ is the one who
the
came
man
as a
that
man.
lived. The man.
And he lived under
The
the
word
law
that
of
became
Moses.
flesh.
Yes, the word that
Right.
became flesh. That flesh he
is
became
Jesus
Jesus Christ. It was after his
anointed.
ascension that he was now given the name Jesus Christ. Before he was born, he was not Jesus Christ, but he was the Son of God, the Word of God. So now, during that time, because he lived under the law of Moses, he quoted the law of Moses. You understand? So that whole, if you remarry, you commit adultery, is according to the law of Moses.
No,
It's according to
sir.
the law of Moses.
Jesus Christ was correcting what the law of Moses, as a matter of fact. He was telling them that Moses said this.
Right.
I am saying this.
And what did Moses say?
Moses said you
told
can
them,
divorce, give them letter of divorce if
Yes,
you want
I
to
can
divorce.
give no
based on
divorcements.
what?
If you don't tire to marry, divorce.
Yes.
But don't
True.
abandon your first wife. But if you tire, if you want to marry another wife and you don't tire for this one, divorce. Because they were stubborn. They were always bringing cases
True.
to Moses. Oh,
True.
I'm not tired for this woman. I see young baby I marry. And Moses gave them that law. Okay, you guys can give a letter of divorce, but do not forsake the wife of thy youth. And Jesus Christ was now correcting it. This thing is not fair on the women. You understand? So he said you can't divorce unless
on the basis
of the sexual immorality.
Yeah.
And he was confirming what one of, like, maybe was it David or so that said, or Proverbs that said, if a man catches his wife in adultery, no amount of sorry can fix it.
But what if the man chooses to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. And you see, that's my point.
You expect a believer to go ahead now?
That's
Abi?
I don't expect
divorce.
anybody.
No, go ahead with the marriage.
I
in
don't
spite
don't
of
expect anybody.
infidelity.
No, but if you,
Even Jesus Christ did not expect anybody.
If you forgive, so the problem with
But
that.
are you saying that you don't
Let me tell you the
expect
problem. Let me
a
tell you the
believer
problem.
to go
Let me tell you
ahead
I
the
will
problem.
in
speak for
spite
myself.
of?
Let me
I'm
tell you.
not
Let me tell you
expecting-
the problem with that. That whole to forgive infidelity, forgive adultery. Will you really forgive? You know, let me tell you one thing. Mental pictures are more dangerous than what you see physically. You understand? So you see men who will say, or women who will say that I forgive my spouse. Oh, my spouse cheated. I have forgiven. You have not. Because each time anything happens, you're going to mention it. You will keep talking about it in Jesus' return. So truly, you have not forgiven. And if perchance tomorrow you have the opportunity to cheat, you will cheat. Because you still have that unforgiveness in you. So I always ask people that, do you really think there's any human being that will see or hear or know such a thing and forgive? I don't think so. That's why Christ said that thing. That's why that whole forgiveness was not mentioned. Man is not capable to forgive such sin. It is only God that can forgive. You know
yes.
what
And
God says
that's
about
what he
forgiveness? When he forgives, he blots it away.
Yes.
It's blotted, yes.
And that's what Jesus Christ did to the woman that committed adultery.
So it means that a man can find out that his wife is just cheated, or a man who finds out that his wife just cheated, and or let's say a believer who finds out that his wife just cheated and just continues with the marriage.
The
Did he
person
forgive?
is just lying to himself. The way God has created that in that's why Jesus said that in
As in for them to give permission.
infidelity. That adultery ends the union.
Yes.
No, but I know a union that
It is
there was
very-
adultery, but it didn't end.
It's hard.
It's hard.
He's
yeah.
waiting
It's
for them.
possible.
See, they will always quarrel. It will always be mentioned. Do you know if you break my glass now and I say, okay, no worry, I don't forgive you.
We're not
And
supposed
a week after, as you I say, Ken, I'm very, very careful. See my cup before you go break and like the one way you break last week.
to. We're not.
I've not forgiven you now.
Yeah.
When you forgive, you forget.
See,
So is it possible for anybody to forgive if you really understand what it means to forgive?
only God.
It's only God. So for you not to get to that point, for you not even to try yourself or test yourself, that's why he said that that's on that ground alone. You understand? Because it's hard. Let me tell you how bad that thing is. If you are a man now and your wife cheated, do you know each time you are with that woman, the picture will come to your mind?
Yes.
And the picture will come with many things. You will now start wondering,
Is
was
this
that
same
guy
for the
better
woman,
than
though?
me?
Is this same
Same
for the
woman,
woman?
even for the man. Was that guy better than me? Did he do it better than I do it? You understand? Is she more excited with that guy or me? It will kill you. Same with the woman. If a woman finds out that the husband cheated, same thing. But the thing about women is that because of how women are, the woman will even ask you, is she better than me? Do you like her more than me? Do you love her more than me? You'll be hearing that question all your life. True. And don't offend her, because the day you offend her, she will use that thing to kill you. So that's why it is hard. It's not as easy as somebody stole my money.
So there are two TV shows I watch very frequently. One of them is Divorce Court in the US. And there's this Justice Court in Nigeria. And sometimes when you see the cases that people bring to the court to divorce, you know why Jesus Christ said unless on adultery.
But the same
Because some
Jesus
of
said
those
he hates
issues-
divorce
Yes, God said he hates divorce. Yeah, so because some of those issues, it don't make sense. So
at all.
waiting with the quarrel for, waiting husband and wife they quarrel for sometimes. And it is in that court that the husband is hearing the wife's view for the first time. Because there's no
It's
way.
lack of communication.
Yes.
It's lack of
Because
communication.
you see a woman says, let me give you just one scenario. The man said, I was the one that got this job for my wife. I sacrificed myself I was the one that got the job invite, but I put my wife's name there and she got the job. Ever since she got the job, she stopped coming home. She stopped coming home early, and I don't even know what her pay is. She collects her money, and and the woman was going to say her own part. That's why it's good to hear two sides of the story. And the woman said, I work as an hospital attendant. I am not a nurse, but I must be the last person to leave after all doctors and nurses have left. And that's why I get home late. The man could not say anything. He was just looking at the wife. He said, the salary I collected, my mom had medical case that we took loan to treat her. All the money they paid me for the first 3 months, I used it to pay the loan. The man could not see anything. The man was...
Well, that doesn't make
he
it
was
right.
feeling teary. He was feeling teary like, so now wait till they go through with this.
But
So
that
you
doesn't
already
make,
answered the question.
but that doesn't
sir.
make it right.
You've already answered the question. Lack of communication. Sometimes now when they narrate the story to another person,
party.
now they hear themselves for the first time.
Why?
Two people are shouting. Both of them cannot hear themselves when they are quarreling. You understand?
It's lack of wisdom. So it boils down to what I told you. You need in marriage. First of all, you need wisdom. It is wisdom that will make you know that I need to communicate. It is wisdom that will make you know that I need to love this woman. It is wisdom that will make you know that I'm supposed to submit to this man, irrespective of his stature, his standing, or whatever. So you need wisdom. And where wisdom comes from God.
Yes.
You understand? When you have wisdom, you will survive marriage. Your union will stand the test of time or whatever. If you don't have wisdom, if you lack wisdom, you will fall apart for no reason. Very flimsy. I keep telling people that the reason when you hear of divorces, the things they put on the table are not the actual reasons. Yes, what they say, what they do is that they just sit down and the man will look at what he will be able to say publicly that the ears can bear. The woman will also think of accusations that I can possibly present that will be okay. They don't say exactly the reason for the divorce. I'm not sure there's any woman that will stand and tell the in-laws that the reason I'm leaving your husband is because his PP is small. I'm not satisfied by that. She will not. What she's going to do is that she's going to say he's a very wicked guy. He's very wicked. He's mean. He can kill. And they keep asking her and she keeps repeating he's wicked. He can kill. She will never say it. Same thing with a man. He cannot come out and say exactly the reason. You find very few people who will categorically tell you this is the reason why I'm leaving this man or this woman. What they do is they think of what is palatable, what they can say that the ears will hear and there will be a conversation. So that is it. But most times, the issues that will make people say that they are going for divorce can easily be dealt with. Very easily. That's why you find out that when people divorce, the first thing that hits them is regret. Let me tell you, there is no human being under the face of the sun that has gone through divorce that did not go through the stage of regret, except if you were living a monster, a real monster. The one that you know that this one by next week would have killed me. Thank God I left that house. Apart from that, there's hardly any divorcee that will not tell you that they've gone through that stage. Regret.
Because so what are they regretting?
Their actions, their decisions. Some things don't hit you until they hit you. So when you are quick to leave, when you have left, then it will now dawn on you. Especially when you have people gingering you. Most times, especially women, before a woman will leave a man's house, there's another man somewhere else. And the question I keep asking is that, why will a woman say, I'm leaving my husband because he's cheating, and when you leave your husband, you eventually end up with a married man?
I'm not Bessie's husband.
Yes. And you are now okay. And suddenly you are comfortable with two married people being together that you could have managed in your own home. So that is the problem. Communication that comes from wisdom. So when you see husband and wife happily living together, it doesn't mean they don't have challenges. They've not gone through anything, disappointments, blah, blah, blah. It's just that they are wise enough to know that the grass is actually not green on the other side. It's as green as you water it. So that is the issue. If divorced people can be honest and advise people who are not divorced, but it's just our wickedness. Like I told you, we are very wicked as human beings. The heart of man, you know how it is? Very deceitful. So they are looking at you just like when you fail exam and you meet your friend and say, how far your result? And he says that he failed too. You are so happy inside. You understand?
Yeah.
You'll be very
Very
happy
true.
inside. You'll be rubbing his back. Leave her now. But you'll be like, wow.
Misery loves company.
So me and this guy, you understand? So that's it.
my
When you
God.
see, divorced women are trying to get more people to get divorced so that you come and join them. Do you know what it means to be divorced? You've lived with a man all your life who will change your bulb when there's no light, who will help you boil hot water when there's no water, who will help you go down and turn the tank upside down when the tank refuses to bring out water, and suddenly you are left all by yourself. Now mechanic go first meet you, mechanic go first use you. Gate man will use you. Then your colleagues in the office will come to your house and pretend that they visited you and sit down. It's 10 p.m. He's not getting up because he feels you are horny and starving. So the regret, because some women will look at me and say, no, I have no regret. It's not true. The regret will come in different forms. Walking up and down alone is not good. Especially when you have enjoyed it. The only person that may divorce today and not have regret is someone that has been married for just 3 days. The minute you have stayed with someone, 1, 2, do you know ordinary roommates? Your roommate moves out. When we were in school, your roommate graduates. You come back the next semester.
The house
There's a way, yes, now. Not to talk of somebody. Do you know even quarrel self the sweet? Quarrel the sweet. Sometimes you come home, that woman, where is this woman? You walk around the house, she hasn't come back from work. You go feel somehow until the minute you hear her horn, you start frowning. Because it's sweet, it's fun. You're fond of her. And suddenly one day somebody gets up and say they're carrying their bag to leave. There's regret always. And you know, the people outside that will make you want to leave your home, they are waiting for you. There's this thing we always say that when something is stolen, it's sweeter.
Stolen water is sweet.
Yes. You understand? So when you're living with your spouse and the guy is meeting up with you in one hotel or somewhere, or even if you're a good person, meeting up with you, even if it's church, to ask you, how are you? So what's that? Okay, he slapped you today again. Don't worry, leave him. Let's go and see pastor. You are enjoying it. The day you tell him you've packed out, he will stop coming. Why? Because he has somebody else waiting for him. If you were his best option, you will not be in your husband's house. If you were his first option, you will not be in your husband's house. So those are things people don't understand until they hit the road. It is when you get divorced that you now realize that you're on your own. That thing that guy is enjoying, you come and enjoy your soup 2 months, he's gone. But somebody lived with you for 5 years and he felt he was an idiot. Why? Because of one thing or the other. Maybe his mouth is even smelling, and so what? You married him already, you've lived him for 5 years. The smell did not kill it, won't kill you again. But suddenly you see one hunk outside and you're enjoying that hunk. That hunk also has somebody who sees his nyash smelling at home. You have not seen his nyash. What you're seeing is his mouth that is not smelling. Wait until you see his nyash.
True.
You understand?
True. 100%.
So that's it. There's no reason for anybody to get into marriage and say you want to break up. You should work on the marriage.
How about abuse? Women who say that their husbands always beat
That
them.
one is on another level.
See, is this
No, but
one?
you need to answer
It's
that.
classified
Okay.
as crime. It's
Right.
classified as crime.
Exactly.
If the man was not saying even the abuse, saying a thief, are you not supposed to report him? You understand? So somebody now be physical, abuser. Me and that, they always say, let's spell it out. He's a criminal. It's a crime. So you are supposed to report a crime. It does not equate divorce. It should not lead to divorce.
Yes.
It's safety first. Because I'll give you an example of this woman. A case is currently at Supreme Court level. The man was the one always abusing her. Just one day where she stand back, collect knife from the man, stab the man die. Now they go jail now. You understand? She's already in jail. So that is why abuse has to be dealt with.
Collect the knife and this story funny.
But na possibility.
This story funny, Sha.
Na possibility.
Yes.
Funny, but it's possible.
Possibility. So if there's abuse in a situation, get out of that situation, report that situation, do anything possible to make it stop, because
Can there be
life
abuse
is
in a
involved.
Christian marriage?
Why? Which one? There's everything in Christian marriage. What is even Christian marriage to start with? What do
The
you?
marriage between two
You mean
believers.
people who go to church?
No, believers.
How do you mean believers?
Who are born again.
If you're believers, why would you have what's it called?
There's adultery now, abuse.
There's drugs, abuse. I know.
Why would you have abuse if you're Christian? Because
It shouldn't
so
be. It
maybe your
shouldn't be.
definition of a Christian is different from my own definition. My definition of a Christian is somebody who is like Christ.
It shouldn't be.
Will Christ abuse? Christ will not abuse now. So the people we call Christians are not Christians. You're still taking me back to where I started from. The people we refer to as Christians are not Christians. They are not Christians. What are the fruits of the Spirit?
Gentleness, love, kindness.
I mean, so why would there be abuse? So if you are abused in a home that you think is a Christian home, please get on your knees. Your home is not a Christian home. There's a demon in the house. The devil is inside the house. You need to deal with that first. Do you understand? So for the case of abuse, first of all, we need to look at why they abuse.
Right.
You understand? Are you submissive? Do you honor the man? And you say he's a Christian, a man that you submit to and honor, I'm not sure he will abuse you. So we need to really look at this. People are not Christians and they're claiming to be Christians. People are living waywardly and they are claiming to be Christians. So that should be dealt with. There should be counseling. People like that, that's why I told you that I think I'm going to start counseling. So first of all, you need to look at yourself. Are you doing what you're supposed to do? And are you living the way you should live? If you're living the way you should live, then your partner, who is your partner? Who have you taken to make a partner? You have gone to the pit of hell to go and pick a guy and bring the person and tell him to dress up and follow you to church. That's what happens now. You see girls, because they want to marry, they'll go and pick a guy who smokes Igbo and everything and tell him to wear kaftan on Sunday and follow her to church. Then the guy comes to church as an homo boy and he sees that your pastor is another homo boy and he starts thinking what he can do with your pastor. And then he follows you to the pastor office and you introduce him and you people are now all church members. He's not a Christian. He's not a Christian. He's going to go to the shrine and smoke Igbo and knock himself out on Friday night. He's not a Christian. You have just shown him another social club. And because nobody is sitting him down to actually even query him and find out where he stands and what he stands for and what he believes in, he continues like that until one day he's going to punch your head and you come back and report to the pastor. Then he will come once or twice and he'll get angry and leave the church and say that the pastor cannot be discussing his marriage. Who is the pastor to discuss me and my wife? Then the next thing he's going to accuse the pastor of sleeping with his wife. There's so many of them out there. He was never a Christian. I've met a lot of them. Then the woman is running solo to the pastor. In fact, if you're not even careful, the pastor may even end up sleeping with you because the pastor is a man. Don't carry your problem to any man. Take your problem to God. Resolve it with your husband. That's the first thing I tell people. If you're married, no man should hear about you and your husband except it's somebody that you have as in a place of mentorship. That's the only person when it is absolutely important to talk to somebody. Then you can go to maybe a mentor, a counselor. Don't just run to any pastor to come and counsel you because you and your husband are having issue. You don't know pastors sleep with people's wives. A lot. I have cases, instances that I can mention. The worst thing you can do to yourself is to expose yourself to a stranger. The pastor is a stranger. Forget that he stands at the pulpit. He's a stranger in your marriage. So you don't take your marriage to the pastor. First of all, you should be able to sit down with your spouse and resolve your issues. When you're not able to do that, get on your knees and take it to God. God can touch any heart. If an armed robber carrying gun can wake up one morning, drop the gun and follow Christ, he's the ordinary husband. So these are things people need to deal with. That's why we're having divorces up and down. And most importantly, we need to start checking ourselves before you get into marriage. Who am I marrying? And when you're in the marriage, once people get into marriage and they are successful, they have good job, they are earning money, they forget everything. They don't get on their knees. They don't pray for their marriage. They don't pray for their spouses. They don't pray for their children. You should pray for your children every night. Anoint them while they are sleeping. Anoint your husband. You can command the spirit out of him. Same with your wife. So those are the things that we need to understand. That's why we say that take it to God. If God is in it, it will work. You need to bring God into it. Being a Christian means nothing.
Wow.
Marriage is already ordained.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that because you're a Christian, that's why your marriage is blessed. Marriage is just like people who bring Holy Communion and bless Holy Communion. Once it's Holy Communion, it's blessed. You understand? Marriage is ordained already by God. You are the one who needs to sanctify yourself. You're the one who needs to pray and bring yourself in alignment with the word of God so that your marriage will work. That union is ordained by God. Can't come and say, let's go and meet holy matrimony. Let's go and meet pastor to pray for us. Holy matrimony. Matrimony is already holy. That's like using holy water to drink fancy. You kill yourself. That is not overdose. You understand?
Yeah.
So we need to understand that. We need to, and most importantly, divorced people need to start telling people who are not divorced that this is a no-go area. They will not tell you. They'll come and be forming all these one thing, feminism, blah, blah, blah. Before you know, they want to mix it with the workplace. Why? Because young people want to be successful. Every young woman wants to succeed in business. Every young woman wants to have a successful career. So once they join the two, they now think that they need to have a bad marriage to be successful. They need to disobey their husband to be successful. Career path is you first of all rubbishing your home. No.
Wow. The home does not have to suffer.
They don't meet anywhere. Two parallel lines. There's no meeting point. The home is different. The workplace is different. At the workplace, we are all individual. Nobody is higher, nobody is lower. The only thing you bring is what you have, your capacity, your ability, your certificate. What you can do will determine how far you will go. When we come to the family, when we come to the home front, you decide you want to marry. For this reason, shall a man leave his father and mother? Did you see for this reason, shall a man leave the office? Did you see for this reason, shall a man become director? Or leave medicine and study law so that? No. For this reason, shall a man leave his father and mother is the home and cling unto his wife. And the two shall become one flesh.
Right.
Not one. No. You know, people always use that useless mathematics. 1 + 1 is 1. 1 + 1 is 2. Is never 1. What the Bible said is that they will become one flesh. It means they will be the same, do everything together. They have been joined by God. That is that union that is blessed. The same way we and Christ, we are one. He's in us and we are in him. That's why sex is very important in marriage. Because that is the confirmation of that unity. And it is one flesh. You are not one mind though. You have two minds.
Yeah.
But you become one flesh. So what it means is that you will agree. And in that agreement, the man is the authority, the woman is the helper. So people need to understand this and leave the workplace. All this feminism they carry outside and be doing nonsense, this bullshit. Now we have seen women who are very successful. The richest black woman is a Nigerian.
Right.
So long sure lucky job.
Yes. And she respects the union. Believes in the union. She has never talked down on the union. So who are you? Where is your success? We hear Awoshika going up and down, preaching every time. She still says it. As successful as she is, she cooks for her husband. She kneels down to serve him food at home. She will not kneel down to serve anybody food at the workplace.
At the workplace, true.
Because she's the captain of an industry. But at home, that man, and it's not every man. Your neighbor will not walk into your house and you kneel down to serve him food. It is the man that by yourself you have decided, the same way Christ decided to lay down his life for the church. He decided by himself to lay down his life for the church. So that's why we can make our sickness his sickness. That's why we can remove our shame and put on him. That's how it is at home. The woman will decide by herself that this is the man I have decided to make my king. I will submit to him. So he can raise his hand and put on my head and I will not say anything. He can tell me, go and bring food. He can tell me, lie down here, I'm coming. And he understands that you willingly gave him that. Not because you are weaker, not because he's stronger, not because he's smarter, not because you cannot challenge him, but because you by yourself have gifted it to him and let him glory in that. And tell me how you will not be happy. Tell me how that home will not succeed. Tell me how you will not have blessed children. But he cannot go to the office and see the women there and gather them. So let me tell you, what is also happening here is that men are beginning to suffer for their errors. Because there was a time men were treating women, even at workplace, as if they were subjects. That a girl will come for interview, want to sleep with her before you give her opportunity.
Right.
Suddenly now they have ganged up against you and they have formed things stronger than you. And now you are complaining. They are not done with you yet.
Whoever that man is that they're talking to you,
so many men till tomorrow. I remember those days in Surulere. when the Nigerian movie industry started, when girls will come and look for role, the directors want to sleep with them. Do you want me to mention your name? You know I know you. If you don't sleep with them, you don't give them that role. That's the misplaced whatever I'm talking about. Yes.
Right.
So at some point, men were treating women as if they were subject. All women are subject to all men. No, it is not true.
It still happens today.
They have their rights. You deprive them, and suddenly they are finding their voices now. And they are coming together. Soon there will be one voice. That's if they are not yet. They are not yet one voice. But if we're not careful, if they become one voice, we're gone. Because we caused it. The woman that is under your authority is the one that has decided by herself. Now she uses her hand. Come give you her will. Submit to you by herself. Enter your house. Do you know how you know? Because she went to the government and she changed her name by herself.
Right.
That's the testament. And that is the only one that your authority over. Not your neighbor, not the guy standing on the road or at the bus stop. Not the one that come to your office to work. Not the one that you supervise. Not the one that reports to you. It is the one that has decided by herself to submit, and then you should love her, because even your son cannot, even your child cannot submit to you. Your child turns 18, he leaves your house. Your daughter turns 18, she starts looking for a man that will marry her. But there's a woman that has walked into your life and decided to be with you forever. That's the woman that you are Lord over. And you should love her with everything you have. She will respect you and you will live happily. That is the God factor we're talking about in the marriage. It is needed. It is necessary. It is not you going to the altar to go and kneel down or follow your pastor to wear a shwebi. Rubbish. We need to teach that. We need to make people understand that. When women understand that the authority we're talking about is not forced down anybody's throat. The authority we're talking about is for the woman to come and submit. As my children are growing, as my sons are growing, they are hoping tomorrow that one woman will come and tell to them, I submit to you.
Yeah.
And they will go and change their name. And if I decide that they should add John to their name, so be it. She submitted. She will follow us. That's the one we should love. Not the one who is on the road or doing her own thing, or I meet at work or somewhere. Then I want to take advantage of her because I'm a man. That's why the whole thing is changing now. Women are finding their strength. And they will come, because I tell you, the woman is more intelligent than the man. They will come with so much aggression that the man will not find anywhere to hide. That's what we're experiencing now. How many Mother's Day do they celebrate now? Do they remember men anywhere? My church, anytime the pastor wants to sing, we tell women to come out and dance in front. They feel everywhere. In fact, one day, one guy got up, the women told him to go and sit down. We're getting there. Why? Because we did not do the right thing when we had all the opportunity in the 60s and the 70s. When they were told in some cultures not to eat egg, not to come out, you don't have, shut up, you don't have a say. No. You see family gatherings, another man is telling another woman that is not your wife, shut up. Who tells a woman they talk for our meeting? Who are you? And that's why women are suddenly trying to prove to you that they have a say. That's why they are getting out of the home. Once you annoy them in the marriage, they'll get out, go and rent another house and go and live there, tell you that it's divorce. It's not supposed to be so. So we need to stand and preach and teach the right thing. Let everybody understand what marriage, the union God intended for us. He created for us and gave us everything. He said, I will make him a helpmate.
Suitable for him.
Suitable for him. He didn't say suitable for them.
Suitable for him.
Suitable for him. So for every man, there's a woman that is suitable for you. And you're supposed to love the woman. And the Bible also tells the woman to what? Obey. Submit. That's it.
To wrap up, I believe that.
Why are we wrapping up? Are we finished?
Before we get into the stage of marriage, there's usually courtship and all that. Are there possible red flags that both parties can notice and be able to say, man, let me pull the plug on this thing before we now get into the marriage, and then we'll now start looking for how to pull the plugs, when there's already, a union.
Yeah, in a case where you don't see, I'm going to answer the question this way. In the case where even if you don't see red flags, the marriage will still have issues. The guarantee for issues is 100%.
Right.
That there will be issues in the marriage.
True.
So whether there were red flags or there were no red flags, the thing is, which CD has already answered, is we must be ready to apply wisdom. Bible says, seek wisdom with all that you have, because it's the principal thing, you know. So it's important that people should, you know, have that at the back of their minds, that this marriage that we're entering, if you are married to the best person, the most loving man or the most the kindest woman, you would still face challenges. It will come. The goal is to weather the storm and weather it fast. You understand? Because the more the issues linger, the more things are bound to, you know, get worse. So if you weather it fast and you get out, and if there's something at the back of your mind that we're in this together forever, if there's one more thing that saved me is that what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. So if that is also at the back of your mind, that I don't want to mess this thing up, I believe, you know, with God on your side, yes, you would.
And you know what, go fire too.
Very important.
Sorry, sir. Have we established that infidelity is enough grounds for the believer to divorce? Are we establishing that?
So the Bible says.
Okay.
So Jesus said.
So the Bible says. So on what you just asked now before I lose my line of thought, I don't believe in what Oyez is saying. So that's why so many young people make mistakes in marriage. You know, sometimes what happens to young men, ego, they always feel that I can fix it, attitude. Listen, let me tell you, it's good to look out for red flags. First of all, what I tell people is that there's something recently I am beginning to understand how great that thing is, and it's the leading of the Holy Spirit. Unfortunately, most people at the point they are getting married may not really have the Holy Spirit leading them. So even at that, you need to also...
God told me this, my wife. God told me this, my husband.
You need to...
And then
nobody can confirm that. But what I'm trying to say is this. It is always good to note red flags. So what I tell myself, long time ago, I was arguing with my niece about men and women. I've always believed that the men were more intelligent than the women. Up until, I think I was about in my third year in the university when I had that argument. Young girl, she was 9 years old. And she told me, Uncle, it's not true. I said, yes. Uncle, but let me tell you, my mommy is so age, my daddy is so age. Uncle, I heard grandpa died at so age. How old is your mom? Uncle, I heard... Okay, uncle, let me even ask you, how old are you? The woman you're going to marry, how old will she be? And when I really thought about what she was saying, I realized that women are more intelligent, more advanced than men. By the time we were in secondary school, our contemporaries that were ladies were already dating boys in the university. By the time we were in university, our classmates, girls, had MFT, men from town. You understand? I'm sure as you're sitting here, if you're married, I'm sure your wife is at least a year or 2 or 3 younger than you.
Right.
And she'll still be looking at you like a small boy. If she passes the parlor, she will hit your head. So men now are called babies, baby, and they are taking it. So first of all, the women are actually 2 or 3 steps ahead of the men. If you're on the same class, same age, same everything. So when you want to marry, it is good for you to look out for red flags because of the woman's intelligence, she can pretend, she can hide everything. And what I tell people is that what you should look at is the woman's heart. Don't look at anything. What I tell people is that anytime you come in contact with a woman, if you're young and you're married now, you want to marry, listen to what I'm saying. Look at the woman's heart. The only thing any human being cannot hide is the state of the heart. I can hide if I have money or not, yeah. I can hide if I'm hungry or not. I can even hide if I'm not fine. Women now will use makeup and everything, and you see them during the day, they are so pretty. Wait for her to wake up early in the morning. But one thing you cannot hide is the state of your heart. You can't hide that. So if you are a man and you're looking for someone to marry, please check out the state of her heart. And it is very easy to know by little things. How she treats people around her. You'll be able to know if she's wicked or not, unforgiving or not. Those are the things you need to look out for, because those are the things that will come against you in that union. What you're talking about, by the time you get to what you're talking about, it is already late. And so many people marry out of pity. Oh, I've dated her for 8 years. I can't say no. My friends say no. A broken marriage of one day is worse than relationship of 20 years.
Right.
So you need to look at the heart, the state of the heart, just like God searches the heart. We are like gods. He said he created us in his image and likeness. So we should also have the ability to search the heart. Don't get carried away by the girl throwing you a birthday party and bringing all your friends from nursery school. It means nothing. Don't get carried away by her baking you the biggest cake and doing surprise. Those things don't mean nothing. Don't get carried away by her figure, by her shape, by the class of friends or the car or anything. Don't get carried away by those things. Look out for the state of the heart. That is the red flag. That is the only place you can see the red flag. If she's mean, if she's unforgiving, if when she's angry, it takes her a whole nation to calm her down, my dear, red flag. Forget everything. When she cannot give out her last piece of meat, when you ask her for that, run away. There are girls you will take out to eat to eat. They know you're the one paying for the food. You dip your fork in her food. She's going to get angry until you finish eating that food.
Wow.
Her heart is mean. She has money in her purse. She wants to buy gala by the traffic. She will ask you to bring your own money. As a state of the heart. Those are the things to look out for in a woman. Leave whether she knows how. Yes, it's good to know if she's tidy or not. Very well. But if her heart is good, even those things she doesn't know, she will teach you. Or sorry, she will learn when you teach her. But you see that heart, meanness, wickedness, unforgiveness, those things, you can't change the person. She will kill you with those things, send you to your early grave. And by that time, you start saying, I didn't know she was like this. So she wasn't like this when I met her. Or deceiving yourself. So those are the red flags.
Same for the guys, so that they won't say we're talking about.
Yes. Either way.
We are mentioning women.
Either way. A woman who has a good heart will always forgive you. You know that when they call mumu button, everybody needs mumu button. If you're getting into marriage with anybody and I don't have the person's mumu button, don't get in. Divorce is waiting for you people at the bus stop. You know that bus stop they call total. That's where divorce is part of the total waiting for you. Last bus stop. So it is for everybody because the divorce rate is alarming and we need to do something. We need to start having these conversations. I'm not even sure we are done. We've not even scratched the surface. We have not said so many things. We'll keep coming.
Right.
We need the pulpit to join us too. Teach these things. Forget the tithe and offering they bring to you. Forget that they are in your choir singing for you. Forget that there are some big women in oil company, banking and the rest of it that are single coming to you with seed and everything. So you cannot mount the pulpit and say it exactly how it is. Invite me, I'll come and say it for you. But we need to start saying it.
Right.
We need to deal with divorce. It's an issue. And there's no divorced person that did not ever once regret moving out. Except if he's a monster. That monster is the one that would have killed you by Saturday. Or they don't do the juju. Put them for the soup, you can't see them. No, say if you not chop am today, you go chop am tomorrow. That's the one that when you go out, you will still have regret because of the fondness. But even that regret, you see, beat your chest and say, please, ahead. Divorce is not good for anybody. It is not good for you. It is not good for the children. They become very unstable. And so many things will happen. So if you're hearing me, know it now. What you need to do is to be careful before you get into this union. Check very well. And remember that marriage is like Christ and the church. It is not meant to be broken.
Right.
So if you're going into it, you have to prepare your mind, like Oye said, till death do us part.
Right.
It is not meant to be broken. There is no need for anybody to say they are going for divorce. And if you're already divorced, well, I pray Christ will come to you and heal you.
Amen.
That's what I pray for you. I am not condemning you. I will not condemn you because myself, if anybody should be condemned, I should be the one that should have been condemned by now. But the grace of God and the love of Christ is what has kept all of us. So if you have made that mistake, be healed in the mighty name of Jesus. But tell the people around you the truth. Tell them that it's not worth it. It's not what anybody should go for. And if possible, I pray that you find reconciliation. And where you're not able to find reconciliation, may Christ heal you perfectly.
Amen.
In the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen.
Can I have your offering?
Apostle, thank you so much for this wonderful time.
Honorarium,
Please, can you protocol? Come on, Usher the
Honorarium
Apostle.
is 70 million that I used to.
See you on the next one, people.